Hey kids, it's Arp. This is the ArpCast, somewhat live from the foothills of the Great Smoky Mountains in eastern Tennessee. Today we talk about different things, weird people, and maybe unicorns and rainbows. We read poetry and short stories too. Most of all, we keep it real. This is the ArpCast, starting now. Welcome to ArpCast number 20. That's right, number 20. Didn't think I would get here. I'm sure you didn't either, but here we are. And I am grateful for your support. I appreciate the feedback. Having a blast. So don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and to catch the blog, and that's the blog.thearpcast.com. So it's Movie Monday. It's post-holiday withdrawal, frankly. Just going to be very honest with you. First, the holiday weekend. So we just got past Thanksgiving, and it's a great holiday. We had some wonderful friends visit from up north, the Schonbogs. So you know we spent a lot of time with them. They're very close to us. We're very close to them up in New Jersey. Had an absolute blast. Talked a lot of philosophy. Spent a lot of time together. Ate some good food, and just really enjoyed one another's company. So thank you to our friends from the great state, the Garden State of New Jersey, for visiting us and making Thanksgiving so very special. Thanksgiving 2017. So again, remember Thanksgiving, and as we try to reinforce here something that we need to look forward to each and every day, not just that one time a year. So real quick, we did make it out to the shops, and I got to say one thing. I thought the traffic was really light. Now, we went much later, but I thought it was really light. I suspect that all this online shopping is having a real impact, which will be interesting to watch over the coming year in terms of closures and the like. All right, so on to the topic du jour. It's Movie Monday, and tonight we're going to review The Imitation Game. That's right. It's an older movie. As you know, I don't get out much, and so we weren't able to make it actually to the theater this weekend. But I had been wanting to watch this movie. I'm a fan of its star, Benedict Cumberbatch, and just kind of really interested in the story that this movie presents to us. And so it speaks about the life of Alan Turing, the famed British cryptologist. And so Alan, big sort of mathematician, very intelligent at a very early age. So it was 27, I think, as the movie portrays it, when he entered Bletchley Park, which was the site of where a lot of this super secret code breaking and code infiltration and the like was going on with the Britishers. And so a really great cast of British heavyweights. So you've got Mr. Cumberbatch, Keira Knightley, Matthew Goode, Charles Dance, and Mark Strong, who I recognized as a villain from the first Sherlock Holmes movie, the Robert Downey Jr. Movie series of, I guess, two movies. He was the villain in the first movie, and so I recognize him. So kind of an interesting connection back to Mr. Cumberbatch, who, as most of you know, is the famed Sherlock Holmes in the BBC/PBS series of the same name. So The Imitation Game, again, features philosophy and the ALF, Arp's likability factor, coming up just in a few minutes here. So features. Look, I thought this was a very good movie. No small amount of great acting. Just Cumberbatch is delightful. I think pulls off Mr. Turing in enviable fashion. he's just perfect in this role in terms of his sort of stoic presentation of Mr. Turing, ever the scientist, ever the mathematician, very focused on his work to the extent that he really turns off his colleagues, turns off his superiors, and couldn't be bothered with anything but trying to decode the Nazi intelligence that's kind of coming back and forth. And so, very interesting story. I didn't know all of it. So there's the Enigma machine, which is the German machine that's sending out all this encrypted code, and these British mathematicians, chess players, just a hodgepodge of folks are enlisted to figure it out. And so, very strong supporting cast, very good pace to the movie. Just a great story. So you got World War II, you got the Nazis, you got cryptology, the Enigma machine, the battle for intellectual superiority among all these players. Just a nice concoction of characters, of cadence, of content to make, roughly 2 hours go by very fast indeed. So, philosophy. So here is another interesting movie again that kind of talks about gratitude, and very weighty topic. And so if there are any kids out there listening, I'm going to talk about a few perhaps mature things here. So Mr. Turing does his thing, World War II, and that turns out, as we all know, how it turns out. And then he's off on his own, and he's a professor, and he's doing other things. And it turns out he's a homosexual. And so he gets turned in for that, tried, convicted, confesses, I believe, as history would note, and is just treated in the worst sort of way. I'm not going to go into the details. So a man who, by all measure, completely undid the Nazi code, along with his colleagues, is not appreciated until and pardoned until well after his death in the early 2000s. I think that's wrong. And so this sense of gratitude. Now, what was interesting is that in his lifetime, he had a very difficult time providing gratitude, as depicted in the movie. Again, just his personality, that was his nature. Because his work ethic just absolutely got the best of him. That's what Alan Turing was about. And so his fight against the Nazis, breaking the code, that's what he was about. He wasn't formally thanked until well after his death. The Ow Factor. Look, I really like this movie. It's a borderline between like and love. Remember, we've got love, like, meh, dislike, and loathe. I'm on the border. I really, really enjoyed this movie. I think it could have had a little bit of a sort of faster pace, a little bit more energy, but overall, I thought it went along quite nicely. So there it is, Movie Mondays, The Imitation Game, right there between like and love. I had a great time watching it. I think you ought to get out there and watch it as well. Great way to sort of finish off the holiday weekend and really get ready for the week ahead, which I'm sure will prove to be very interesting indeed. So there you have it, The Imitation Game, Movie Monday. Have a great week to close out this wonderful November. Thanks. Well, kids, you know who this is. It's ARP, damn it. You have been listening to the ArpCast, a sensational, fact-filled experience meant to change the world. I'm happy you stopped by. Our sponsors, those greedy, wily bastards, thank you too. Make sure to write, this has been the ArpCast. I'm out.